Hello everyone, and welcome back to the English Go Talk To podcast. I am your host today, Teacher Emily, and we have our very special guest, my very own Luna Stormtrooper Zarneski. So we are going to be talking about dogs, dog training, and, well, what it takes to have a four-legged best friend. Now, she's not paying attention. I had to bribe her to get onto the couch. She is really in a crazy mood today, so we'll see how good video we can get. But this is Luna. She is... how old are you? Oh, okay. So she is 9 months old. We've had her, well, for almost about that long. And she is a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. So let's show you off here, Luna. So what that means is she is very long, very thick, thickums, thick. And she's also very short. Look at these legs. Look at these little legs. Look at these little leggies. Alright. Settle down, I'm sorry. So yeah, even though Luna is a puppy, she's still pretty young. She hasn't reached full size yet. She is very, very small. We got her for that specific reason, which brings us to talking about breeds. When it comes to dogs, I think there's over 600 different breeds of dogs. We're talking about looking different in the ears, the face, the body. There are so many different varieties. So really, I'd like to believe that there's a dog breed out there for everybody that matches everyone's personality, everyone's lifestyle, or whatever else you might have. So whenever we decided to get a dog, that was one of the first things that we considered is what kind of dog are we gonna get? What kind of dog is best for our environment and best for our schedule? Oh my goodness, why you look so funny? Why you look so funny? You look absolutely goofy. I'm sorry, she's very distracting because she's so cute. I'm gonna try my best. Focus. Speaking of focus, the Corgi is a very, very high energy dog. Now, despite them being so short and small, they go really, really fast when they run, and they can be a little talkative and a little loud. Luna here is full of energy. She can go wild and crazy at times. Hi, honey. Oh, see? That's exactly what I mean. This is exactly what I was talking about. You are proving my point. Absolutely just full of craziness. So, okay. Generally, she just needs a little coaxing, a little, calming down. It's okay. That's a great thing about dogs. They're very receptive of our human emotions. So whenever you're sad, whenever you're happy, dogs are able to pick up on that. And that's why they're considered man's best friend, is they really kind of get us on an emotional, spiritual level. And this is Luna's dad, my fiance. So Luna is packed full of energy. So it's very important for active, energetic dogs like Luna to get lots of exercise, which is a big thing to consider whenever you're looking at your schedule. If you're someone who has to spend a lot of time away from home, a lot of time away from work, well, that means you're going to have to leave your furry friend at home. And as you can see, Luna doesn't like it whenever we leave, even if there's still one of us here.
Luna, Daddy's coming home soon. He'll be able to play with you. Yeah, he's on his way home. He's on his way home.
She loves to be wherever the people are, wherever we are. So So it was really, really important that we waited until it was a good time to get a dog. Because, well, I wouldn't want to be stuck in my room all day while my family was, out being busy and stuff. So it makes a lot of sense for us to make time in our schedules and make space in our schedules for Luna. We like to go on car rides. We like to go to stores where dogs are allowed so that way she can come with us because, well, she's part of our family and we love spending time with family.
Hanging out in the car with the pup cup. Daddy's car is messy, but at least it's not mine.
One of the really awesome things about the Corgi as a breed, come over here. What you do? What you doing? Just calm down. Just hang out. One of the real cool things is this is a very popular breed in England. It was made popular by Queen Elizabeth II. She owned, I think, 19 different Corgis throughout her reign. Mind you, she's still ruling currently. But I think now she switched to Dorkies? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's a combination between a Corgi and a Dachshund, or a wiener dog, more commonly known, which they're a lot of fun too. So, talking about your temperament. What is temperament? Well, temperament's kind of like a natural personality that some breeds of dogs are just kind of born with. This can really determine how they interact around people, other animals, children. It's all about temperament. Some dogs are naturally nervous and reserved, whereas other dogs are very high energy and social. Here, you gonna calm down? You gotta chill out? You good? You good? Shh, it's okay, he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. Anyway, so that's another thing to consider whenever you're picking out your best friend. Alright, I'm gonna let her run free. Whenever you want to choose the dog that you want a part of your family, a part of your life, it's definitely beneficial, it's definitely good to research the different dog breeds, what kind of temperament they have. Because you don't want to be someone who loves to socialize, who loves to go to dog parks and go out on hikes, and, well, maybe your other friends have dogs. And then you wind up with a puppy who hates people, who hates other dogs, or maybe they just don't really like to go out and do anything. You don't want a lazy dog if you have an active lifestyle. So that's when we kind of go into the category of breeding of designer dogs. Luna is actually considered a designer dog. These Corgis were actually genetically bred. They were selectively picked and used to make awesome, better, more fantastic, specific dogs. The reason why people did this was because they wanted dogs that were able to do specific tasks, or they wanted dogs that were able to do specific jobs, or just look a specific way. Some people wanted long dogs, tall dogs, short dogs, fat dogs, stumpy dogs, ugly dogs. There were all different kinds of reasons. Luna's makes me feel a little bit better. It feels less like a hobby. So Luna's breed, the Pembroke Welsh Corgi, well, that comes from Wales over in Europe, over in the United Kingdom. They are herding dogs, which herding, that means to go around and to round up all the animals. Specifically small animals like sheep, goats, and something else. I think chickens, maybe chickens. I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked at my Corgi encyclopedia. But they herd small animals. They were used and brought up on farms to help farmers keep track of their animals. Which is very funny. Try and remember that. It's going to come up in our story time here in a minute. So she, of course, has a lot of energy. Her feet are very small. She's very low to the ground. But again, that is so that way she can keep up with all of these small animals on the farms. I don't know, I live in the city. I live in an apartment, so I don't need a herding dog. But I just love the way that they look. And because I live in an apartment, it's very important to keep in mind that there's not a lot of space. We are very limited on how much room she has to run around. So I didn't want to get a dog that was too big and needed a lot of space because, again, it doesn't feel very fair. So we got little Luna here, and she just looks like a little loaf of bread. Just this little fuzzy sausage of love. And I love you so much. You're my best friend. Yes! So that is kind of a little bit of the history of why the Pembroke Welsh Corgi, why it be, why it is the way that it is. Some people are very, very against the idea of getting dogs from breeders or getting dogs that are made for a specific purpose, made to have a certain look, the designer dogs. They do have a tendency to be a little expensive because of how high in demand they are. If people see a cute dog like Luna, well, they say, oh, I want one too. And so that makes people say, how much will you pay for the adorable puppy? So you always have the option of going to animal shelters. There are tons of dogs that are either they lose their homes, sometimes they're picked up off the streets, or whatever unfortunate circumstances happen, they need a forever home. They need a family. So if the idea of, a shopping for dogs by breed doesn't really feel like your cup of tea, doesn't really feel like your thing, adopting from an animal shelter is always an option. Usually you will have to do a kind of background check just to see what kind of environment you live in. It's here in the United States, I've only ever seen it done on paper. They ask you a couple of questions like, what's your schedule like? Where do you live, but what are you doing? Are you hiding? What kind of house, what kind of place do you live in? For us, it's an apartment. Some people live in houses. Some people live in mansions. I don't know. And other things. But this is for a very good reason. It's just to make sure that the animal they are sending you home with is going to a good home. And you would probably be an awesome, amazing home, but not everybody has an awesome, amazing home. And not everybody treats animals as awesomely as they should be treated. So, sometimes in the shopping process, in the designer dog process, this can kind of get skipped. This can kind of be overlooked because, well, again, we're talking about money. So we usually talk about something like this. Sometimes people's hearts are not in the right place, meaning that, well, if I want to do something, it might be for the wrong reason, like making money. So we spent a really, really long time looking for Luna, looking for, we're just looking for Luna. Everything that we wanted in a dog, including a safe environment that they were raised and brought up in. Because the thing about dogs is it's very crucial, very critical, very important for them to stay with their mothers before or while they're growing up. They require lots of lessons and nutrients and just emotional growth that comes from being raised by their mom before they're ready to be in a human family. I mean, if you think about it this way, imagine your life. It would be kind of terrible. Well, not kind of terrible. It would be awful. It would be very just sad if you were growing up and then all of a sudden someone took you away from your mother, away from your parents, just snatched you up. So it's very important for puppies to get that bonding time. Now, there is a certain growth period that you have to wait for before you can separate a puppy and its mom. Typically, it can be anywhere from 6 weeks to 8 weeks to sometimes 10 weeks, but that's usually the maximum. That's as far as it goes. Hello, I'm sorry. Ah. So Luna, I think we waited 8 weeks for, but we didn't get to meet Luna at first. We actually got to meet Luna's mom and dad. After we finally finished our search and we found someone that looked reputable, that looked like they had a good reputation, they were trustworthy, we traveled to a farm that was about an hour and 30 minutes away. We hopped in the car and we drove and we went to this farm, and oh my gosh, guys, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen. So it was like a Corgi training facility, like a Corgi army base. So we got to meet our breeder. She was this wonderful, fantastic woman. Super duper down to earth, meaning she wasn't all fancy or frou-frou, not like a celebrity, exact opposite. She was just really cool, really just kind, humble. She was great, I could go on and on, but she was just this awesome all-around human being. So she raises corgis for a living. It's just kind of something that she's done for years and years. But the best part was, it wasn't just corgis. It turns out that this was the petting zoo lady. If you've ever been to a petting zoo or something like a carnival, a fair, sometimes they have animals there that you can ride, or you can pet them and touch them or feed them, and it's really cool. It's like a very, very small zoo, usually with farm animals. But this was the petting zoo lady. She was the lady that had all of the animals. She also did things like pony parties. She takes her horses and, puts a little unicorn horn on them and goes to birthday parties and to children's events, and it's just the coolest thing. And she's like just this animal whisperer. And you guys, she had camels. The things with the two little humps, the doot doot, in the desert. She had camels. She had a camel named Aladdin, and there was another one, but I forgot the name. And she also had llamas and bunnies and just all these really cool animals. So you had this Corgi army base because, she talked about how it was so important for them to have lots of room to run around, and they were just running back and forth and back and forth. And it was honestly, it kind of reminded me of like a Corgi hotel or something. But it was really cool. So we got to meet Luna's mom. Her name was Liberty. And we got to meet Luna's dad, who was named Stormtrooper, like from Star Wars. So, we got to become really great friends. We really got to know her. She got to know us. And that's a really cool thing, is whenever you are someone that is, breeding dogs, that you own the puppies, it's your decision who gets to have the puppies, what homes the puppies get to go to. So you get the final say, and ultimately our breeder had the final say. So we were a little nervous because we weren't sure if she was going to like us, because we were very young. People look at us, they go, oh, hey, there's 2 kids. They're kind of not wrong, but they're not right. So we were a little nervous, but we waited. We had to wait about 6 weeks for Luna to be born, for her to arrive on this side of the planet, and then it was going to be another 8 weeks before we could take Luna home. So we didn't know what she was gonna look like. We didn't even know if she was gonna be a girl, but I had my fingers crossed. So then the magical day arrives, the fated day of May the 17th. I think it was Mother's Day that year. It was last year. But anyway, so we get a text from our breeder. The mama Corgi has gone into labor. She's been carrying well with her babies. And then tragedy struck. So this is kind of where Luna's story gets a little sad, just a little bit. So there was a few problems, and Luna, well, first of all, sometimes whenever dogs have babies, they can usually be like in large groups. We call these groups litters of puppies. Well, usually there's like 3, 4, 5, sometimes 7 puppies in a litter. Well, the first sign that something was a little wrong was that whenever Luna's mom went into labor, started having her puppies, there were only two, which was pretty small, especially for a Corgi puppy litter. So that was kind of like a, ooh, uh-oh. So we kind of got a little scared. We started to get more nervous. Well, Luna's brother, the other puppy, started to get really sick. When he was born, he was really, really weak, and unfortunately, he didn't make it. He passed away. He died. So Luna was an only child. She was an only puppy. She did not have any brothers or sisters. Whenever she grew up, it was just her and her mom. So Luna's our little miracle baby. She's our little trooper. She's our fighter. So that's kind of how we came up with her name, Luna, because we love the nighttime. The moon is beautiful. Stormtrooper, because it's her dad's name. We respect the father. And of course, Zarneski, because that is our family name. That's our household name. So that is the story of Luna. We picked her up, we took her home, and we have loved her and cherished her ever since. So with her backstory, she's a little bit rowdy, she's a little bit crazy, and she has a hard time being gentle with other dogs, other people, tiny humans. She has met a few babies in her lifetime, and she's done pretty well. She didn't maul them or bite them or attack them, but she's kind of got a thing with boundaries, especially with toys. She tries to be gentle, but she's very clumsy. Her teeth end up catching on clothes, on hands. It can get a little messy, but she tries her very best, and she works really, really hard. Some of you may have noticed that Luna's wearing this little vest kind of thing. This is a harness. So Luna has a collar that has her tags on it. This is in case she gets lost, in case she runs off. If someone finds her, they can see what her name is and who she belongs to, how to get a hold of us, so that way we can be reunited, because I would hate to lose you. I love you so much. But the harness allows for us to safely go out on walks with Luna. If you have a leash, the long thing that you use to walk dogs, whenever you attach it to their collar, I'm gonna demonstrate, pardon me, madam. Whenever you attach it to their collar, you run the risk of pulling on their neck, which you don't want to do that. We need our necks to breathe. You know, imagine like yourself. You don't want to, don't need that. So what the harness does, it wraps around their chest. And the loop is on the back, so when we pull on it, it pulls on her chest. It also helps to lift her front paws off the ground. This helps to control her whenever we're on walks. It helps to safely pull her back just in case there's any danger without hurting her, without causing her too much discomfort. In fact, I can actually pick her up, and sometimes whenever we need to carry her, we can carry her like this if we have to. And she's like, it ain't no thing, it's no big deal. So it's very, very important to kind of think about your dogs as little people, to kind of humanize them a little bit, because their comfort is not much different than our comfort. Luna does wear clothes occasionally, mostly for pictures, but not all the time because she has a lot of fur. The Corgi is a double-coated dog. She has 2 coats, a top coat that's nice and silky, and a bottom coat, or well, a top coat that, anyway, there's 2 coats. But they're there. One is to keep water off of her. One is to keep her safe and protected and warm. But that's a lot of hair. That's a lot of fur. So she doesn't need a lot of insulation, a lot of clothing, a lot of sweaters or things. But it does get really cold here in Maryland in the winter time, so occasionally we put a vest on her to keep her warm, or sometimes we put her in shoes, in boots, to keep her beautiful little toe beans safe. Want to show them your beans? Show them the beans. Beans! Go, Luna, go! You can do it! Luna has a toasted marshmallow coat. This is considered the tricolor dog pattern. A lot of Corgis that you see will be red. They are that nice reddish, brownish kind of a creamy color. But yeah, so I think that pretty much concludes it for Luna's interview. So now I think we're gonna go outside and we're gonna try to do some tricks for you guys. All right, see you in a second. Alright, one of the really cool things that I forgot to show you guys while we were outside is Luna's really awesome water bottle. Anytime we go out on hikes or really, really long walks, or just whenever it's hot outside, I mean, she is a thick, fluffy dog, so we have to make sure that she stays hydrated, that she can stay cool. So I have this awesome, amazing water bottle. The really cool thing about this is it has a lock on it, right here, this little button right here. So right now it's not locked. So okay, if I push it over here, it's locked. I can't push it, there's no water coming out. I can put this in my bag, my backpack, my purse. I can throw this in the back seat. I don't have to worry about it leaking. It's really awesome. Whenever we are ready to use it, Luna, will you be my lovely assistant? Will you help me demonstrate? Let's do it. Alright, you just press the button down like so, and it begins to dispense the water. Now you're probably like, what are those? Well, these are reusable ice cubes. These are safe ice cubes. I don't want to say that they're plastic because that kind of makes people panic, but they are in a safe little kind of plastic coating, and you can pop them in the freezer. They freeze, and you can put them in your drink, and they don't water it down. I love this because I can use them for my tea. I can use my sodas. Yes, Luna, I hear you. Hold on. I can use it for, well, anything that I want to cool down without putting actual ice in my water, because I don't like watering down my drinks, because, you know, by the time you get to the bottom of the glass, it's like half water, you know? I don't want half water. If I wanted water, I would have ordered or gotten a water. Anyway, alright, so when it comes to puppies like Luna, she's going crazy in the background, I apologize. When it comes to young dogs like Luna, who have very, very low attention spans, that means they have a really, really hard time paying attention, a hard time focusing and just concentrating. It is always a good idea to have treats whenever you want to start practicing your training. So first off, Luna, she sees the treat in my hand. Luna, sit. Stay. Good girl, good girl. So a key thing when it comes to teaching your dog commands, you want to make sure that you don't practice too hard. With Luna, she really only has the attention for maybe about 30 seconds to a minute of training with each new command. That's because they get bored really, really fast. And you want the commands to be associated, to be related to happy things, happy memories. So whenever I say sit, Luna doesn't just know sit down. She thinks, oh, if I sit down, good things happen. Good things happen whenever I sit down. And as you saw, she sat and she got a treat. So let me show you some of her other moves. All right, Luna, sit, down, stay. Good girl, good girl. All right, you get a Y. Yeah, yeah. So, Luna, I'm not sure if it's all dogs in general or just the Corgi breed, but she has the ability to learn up to 220 words, which, to put it into perspective, that's about the same amount of words a toddler, a human 2-year-old knows. All right. We're gonna try some of these bits. Luna, come here. Hi, Luna. Hi. Ready? Up. Come on, you can do it. Up. Good girl. Oops, I dropped some treats. Good girl. So we have a few of these down, but the really cool thing I want to show you guys, hold on. The really cool thing I want to show you guys is when it comes to training commands, training your dog how to do things when you say them, is it can also be done with non-verbal commands. Two of the things that Luna listens for whenever she hears my voice is she hears for the tone. Am I angry? Or, whoops, my clock's going off. We gotta wait for the app. Are you done? Okay, it's done. Anyway, so Luna listens for two things whenever she hears my voice. The first is tone. Am I angry? Am I happy? Luna versus Luna. So that kind of gives her an idea of how I'm feeling, but she also looks at my body language. She looks at what I'm doing, what I'm telling her to do, which is very useful because she speaks dog, I speak English. We speak a different language. But what if I told you that Luna also knows Spanish? Siéntese. Bueno, chica. Now, my dog doesn't actually know Spanish. That's because I don't know Spanish, and I have no idea when she would find the time to learn Spanish, but I don't know. She does stay at home by herself occasionally. But the cue we use for sit down is simply a closed fist. This is how Luna knows that we want her to stay put, calm down, sit, and behave. Using these non-verbal commands, these body language commands, helps for you to be able to talk to your dog even without saying anything, much like how we wave to people or give gestures to let them know how we're feeling. Now, this next trick is one of our new ones. We've been working on it for quite some time. So let me move on over here. Luna, come. Spin. No, that's up. Spin. Luna, spin. Good girl. As you can see, sometimes it takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of work to really nail down these tricks. By far, one of my favorite tricks that Luna does is this one. Luna, come. Sit. Wait, I don't have anything. Paw. Good girl. Paw. Good girl. One more paw. Paw. One more. Paw. Okay, you gave me both of them. All right. Okay, I'll give you the R. You want the R? You can have the R. R. All right, Luna. Come here. You want to say goodbye to everybody? You want to say goodbye? She's too distracted. Her brother, the cat, is on the table. This is not proper behavior.
Yeah? Yeah? Luna, you want to sign us off? Will you do our outro? Paw? Will you paw for the people? Paw? Gimme paw, good girl. Good girl, you still have it left on our arm. Our...
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this English podcast with me, Teacher Emily. I hope you enjoyed seeing my furry little best friend Luna show off. And if you have a pet, please write down in the comments below what kind of pet you have. If it's a dog, what kind of breed? What is their name? We want to know about your four-legged family. Be sure to visit me at gotalk2.com for English lessons, as well as our other amazing teachers in our other language courses. We are excited that we are going to be offering Korean. Korean is coming up for that Go Talk 2 curriculum. So if you need to expand your language horizons, Go Talk 2 is the place for you. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to follow us on our other social media platforms. Thanks again so much, and remember, you are beautiful, you are wonderful, and you are full of goodness and amazing things. I hope whatever you are doing, you are successful and you have an amazing day. Thanks so much for talking with me. Bye.